This is the Touchstone Pistachio Company's Winter Market Update 2020-2021. This market update will cover an analysis of shipments from the beginning of the crop year through December 2020. We will look at export shipments, top 5 export countries, and the United States. We will review current pricing levels and offer some insight into future market activity, carryover, and new crop. Lastly, we will review the latest data from the U.S. domestic market. This chart represents year-to-date shipments through December for the last 4 years, but gives you an idea of how you, the buying community, has reacted to the market through the peak buying season. Most of our comments will focus on a comparative analysis to 2018 shipments. The last year, both pricing and crop size were at comparable levels. For North America, we continue to see steady and meaningful growth in both Canada and Mexico. Of special note is the renewed interest of Mexican consumers for U.S. pistachios. Demand is growing and strong, and we believe this is in response to favorable pricing compared to last year. South American shipments are on a comparable pace to shipments in 2018. Chile, Peru, and Colombia lead consumption for U.S. pistachios for a continent that tends to be price sensitive and historically has shown a preference for Iranian pistachios. For Europe, December was a significant month for our second largest export market. Shipments into Belgium, Germany, Luxembourg, the Netherlands, Spain, and the UK have driven year-over-year growth. Some in the industry have expressed some skepticism in these shipment numbers, in particular numbers into Belgium, in terms of shipments intended for future consignment versus actually sold. Nonetheless, shipments into Europe look strong and have given confidence to U.S. suppliers. Asia's market is sluggish at best. With alternate supply options, albeit cheaper out of Turkey and Iran, historically large markets like Hong Kong, which is down 63% year-to-date versus 2018, simply did not buy at levels they did in 2018 and years prior. With markets like India and Vietnam not buying at 2018 levels, year-to-date shipments to Asia remain weak. The silver lining is the U.S. pistachio industry's decision to not export closed shell this year. In 2018, year-to-date through December, closed shell shipments were around 32 million pounds. This accounts for most, if not all, of the decline in this market. For the Middle East, alternate supply out of Iran and Turkey, both record crops, have shown minimal growth for the U.S. versus last year at a 6% growth, with a drop of 30% when you're looking at and comparing 2018. Shorter shipment timeframes and favorable pricing have driven the market behavior in the Middle East. In years where Iran and Turkey have smaller crops, the U.S. fills in the demand. In Oceania, in years where Australia's pistachio crop is large, we expect this market's number to be off versus the previous year. However, Oceania is underperforming versus 2018, down roughly 22%. Mainland China is on a growth pattern these last 4 years, with an impressive year-over-year growth percentage and over 21% increase over 2018. It appears that more direct business is being done with mainland processors than in the past. If there is a disappointing market for 2020 shipments, one might argue that it is the United States. Domestic shipments are essentially flat versus 2018 and actually down from previous year. Peanuts and cashews have been the clear winner for American nut consumers during the COVID pandemic. Hong Kong sent a very clear message this season as they rejected the opening price model and opted for alternate supply from Iran and Turkey. A staggering 21% decrease from last year and a 59% decrease from 2018 is worrisome. While China is still recovering from the devastating impact from COVID, information suggests a degree of uncertainty out of Hong Kong regarding consumption levels during the Chinese New Year. This loss of confidence, coupled with the absence of closed shell this year, puts pressure to move product in other markets. Europe had a historically impressive December. Germany, the Netherlands, and Spain are all on track to eclipse last year in 2018 shipments. What remains unclear is the amount of demand remaining in Europe in the back half of the marketing year. We know the EU has been cautious in their lukewarm response to the opening price model these past few years and has generally moved away from annual sourcing, thus leaving suppliers optimistic that there is more buying to be done. Touchstone wants to make it clear that this pricing is reflective of confirmed pricing we have gathered from the industry. It does not represent any one processor, but does represent a range of deals that have been confirmed. December has emboldened suppliers, and we have seen pricing firm up in the past few weeks. The most competitive in-shell pricing offered was into the Asian market from a large supplier that appears to be undersold at this point in the marketing year. This same supplier has consistently undercut pricing in several markets around the world from North America, the Middle East, and Oceania. Historically, in-shell would continue to firm in the back half months going into an off year. Assuming shipments continue to be strong, we expect this trend to continue. Closed shell sales continue to be scarce with very little volume being done at this point. Conversely, kernel pricing is firmed up and will likely stay at or above the $8 level for the remainder of the year. Touchstone has seen some large carryover predictions for next year. Our position is that we still don't fully understand the impact of COVID and the less than enthusiastic response to the opening price model on buying patterns to accurately gauge the carryover into 2021 and 2022. Historical data points to a large carryover, perhaps over 200 million pounds, which may explain the erratic selling behaviors of some of the larger processors.
For American consumers during COVID, with recessed incomes and a lack of dining out options, a turn to snack nut consumption was apparent. However, with pistachio prices rising 10% per pound on the retail shelf, actual volume consumption of pistachios was underwhelming. Both peanuts and cashews outperformed pistachios in both dollars and units in the past 52 weeks. While the expansion of pistachio kernel SKUs helped drive pistachio sales this past year, in-shell sales were lost to substitute snack nuts. What remains clear and consistent is the American consumer's preference for private label. Despite a robust branded marketing campaign from the national brand, private label led category growth in both dollars, up 22%, and volume, up 19%, compared to a 7% gain in dollars and a 3% loss in volume.
This completes our winter market update. For immediate questions, please feel free to email the respective market point of contact below. We will release our Spring and Bloom market update in May of 2021.